You're an American. Why do you ski in Europe?
Du bist da, Miguel. Warum fährst du Ski in Europa?
This is actually a question I get asked a lot by both Europeans and Americans. And if you've ever spent an afternoon with me on the slopes in the Alps, eating great food, drinking amazing wine, and then partying late into the night at some great après parties, the answer's pretty obvious. But if you haven't skied in Europe, or if it's been a long time since you have, you should really know what you're missing out on. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Chris, and I'm the founder and chief ski sommelier at Eat, Drink, Fun. I'm an American living in Europe, and I help people live their best lives by eating well, drinking better, and always having fun. This video gives you 5 of the top reasons I think Europe is a better place to ski than North America. Now, I know I'm going to get pushback. As an American, trust me, it gives me no pleasure to admit the truth. I wish skiing were a bigger, more developed, and more accessible sport in the US. Anyway, I look forward to engaging in the comments, which I know there will be some. And while you're at it, please subscribe and click the bell to get notified when more content drops. For now, let's get into it. The top 5 reasons why skiing in the Alps beats North America. Terrain is the first important category. Now, I already know the #1 comment I'm going to get from Americans and Canadians is that the snow in the Rockies is so much better than in Europe. And they are absolutely correct. Higher altitude generally means more accumulation and lower moisture in the snow, so you get that light, fluffy pow. The only place that might have better ultralight powder is Japan. So North America wins in the snow quality subcategory, even with the ice and the heavy slush on the East Coast. I grew up skiing in New England, and that may have actually made me a stronger skier. But after skiing in the Alps for so many years, it is really hard to go back to the Northeast. The main point I want to drive home here is that the terrain is more than just the snow quality. Size and quantity matter here, my friends. So we need to also consider the number of ski resorts and how massive they are in Europe. As for quantity, Europe offers over 4,000 ski resorts. There are only 500 in North America. That's an 8-to-1 ratio in Europe's favor. As to size, even accounting for North America's largest resorts, none of them offer as much groomed terrain, or off-piste terrain for that matter, as many medium or large ski areas in Europe. I organize trips for guests to the Dolomites all the time, and they're simply overwhelmed by the size and diversity of the options when you have over 700 miles of slopes on a single ski pass in just one ski region. We also need to consider the ski vertical. Even though the Rockies are much higher than the Alps in elevation, the length of the runs in North America are generally much shorter. In Europe's larger ski areas, you'll find single runs with over 1,000 meters or 3,200 feet of vertical drop. That's several miles long sometimes. I shake my head whenever North American ski resorts talk about their acreage, in air quotes, which includes the forests, cliffs, and backcountry. That's sweet, I'll ski that. But how many average skiers are actually using all that acreage? In Europe, resorts give you the centerline distance of groomed slopes at the resort, and that number dwarfs the terrain coverage in the US. And then there's the off-piste terrain, which is endless. In most of Europe, you can ski off-piste at your own risk. There's very little hand-holding. You are an adult that gets to make adult decisions. But if you see a closed rope or gate in Europe, please do not cross it. They only close things down in Europe if it is sincerely dangerous. The truly wonderful thing about having such a large ski area in Europe is that when you do have a powder day, it is not tracked out immediately. You can find untouched snowfields in the afternoon, the next day, and even the day after that. So, accounting for more than just snow quality, but the vertical, the size, and the number of the resorts, the overall winner for terrain is Europe. The second category is ski infrastructure. First, Europe leads the way when it comes to ski lift technology. All of the best manufacturers of ski lifts are European companies. If it's a detachable lift in the US, it's probably made by a US subsidiary of a European lift maker. European lift companies have also pioneered technology like heated seats and the bubbles that keep out wind and snow. I would have really appreciated having one of those bubbles growing up in New England. I also remember skiing in Austria in the early 1990s and discovering RFID ski passes. That technology took a couple of decades before it showed up in North America, and it's still not ubiquitous. Given their speed, comfort, and newer technology, Europe definitely wins on lift tech. Second, I want to talk about the lift lines, and I know my position is probably controversial among my fellow Americans. Hey guys, I love European lift lines, or the lack thereof. It's been described as a lift scrum, and I just love efficiency. I'm not a patient person. Standing in line, no matter how well organized, is super frustrating, especially when people still refuse to sit with strangers to fill a chair. I feel that anyone who gets to the loading point but then hesitates because they don't want to ride up with someone different or they've lost their group, man, that person needs to pick a different sport. I've written an article about how to cut a ski line in Europe. It is essential reading if you want to embrace the culture, meet interesting new people, and get up the mountain faster. It also helps that European ski areas just have more lifts. When you have more lifts per slope, the lines are shorter and you can access more terrain. In Europe, you can find a new high-speed 6 or 8-person lift that services only one or a couple of slopes. On the contrary, in America, the resort design tends to force everybody into these large collection points, and that only adds the headache of getting back up the mountain. I'm sure you've seen the videos and images online when things go wrong in the US. In Europe, I've never experienced epically or iconically long lines or faulty ski lifts that you see in North America. So, Europe wins on lift lines. Third, let's talk about resort transportation. European resorts benefit from a comprehensive public transit system, including trains and buses, that make accessing the mountains both easy and affordable. Private transfer services are also abundant and very convenient. They'll get you directly from the airport to your hotel in the fastest possible time. Once you're in an alpine village, though, you do not need a car. You can either walk to the lift or take a regularly circulating ski bus, which is usually free. In the US, by contrast, transportation is largely car-dependent, unless you're paying a significant amount of cash to stay at a ski-in, ski-out hotel or condo. So Europe wins on resort transportation, and Europe wins overall for ski infrastructure. The next major category is food, drinks, and après-ski culture. When it comes to food and drink, Europe is in a league of their own. On-mountain dining in Europe is an experience to savor. Beautiful, historic stone and wood chalets with sunny aspects and terraces, extreme pride in local products like cured meats and cheeses, soups, dumplings, grilled meats, famous original specialties, and desserts. For those with fine taste buds, you'll find many Michelin and Gourmillot rated kitchens. Please do not miss the outstanding regional wines. Crisp, white Savoyard wines are a perfect complement to iconic fondue and raclette. A rich, complex Reserve Lagrein from Südtirol, Alto Adige is ideal with wild boar, venison, and other local game dishes found in the mountains. And it's almost impossible to beat a nice Grüne Veltliner with a Schnitzel and Spätzle in Austria. For beer lovers, you're going to appreciate the pure, crisp, and refreshing Helles lagers, Pilsners, and Hefeweizens. And if you appreciate spirits, no rest stop is properly concluded without a shot of local schnapps or eau de vie. I recommend pear schnapps, which is from the Williams pear. Just order a Williams. Meanwhile, in North America, we're conditioned to accept heat lamp pizza, burgers, and nuggets. And for the same price one would normally pay for a proper meal served by an actual waiter making a living wage in Europe. So, the food and drinks category goes to Europe. And then there's après-ski. Après-ski, or après-ski, after ski, is a misnomer these days because the party actually starts as soon as people hit the slopes in Europe. Chilly morning? Stop at the nearest umbrella or Schirmbar for a shot, a hot mug of Glühwein, or Jagertee if you're in Germany, and get an infusion of thumping Schlager music. By late afternoon, the proper après bars begin to fill up. In Austria, the après parties on the mountain go till about 8 p.m., after darkness has already descended. Then the party slides gracefully down the mountain to the bars and discos in the village, where you can party until the sun comes up. Austria has by far the best après-ski game, followed by France, then Italy, and Switzerland pulls up the rear in a shiny red caboose. If you want to discover one of the best après bars in the world, check out my interview with Eugen Scalet, the founder of the Moseviot in San Anton. Like the ski lift technology, the American après-ski scene is lagging by a couple of decades. There are several good reasons for this, which probably merits another video. But for now, just know that Europe destroys North America when it comes to the après-ski scene. The next major category is lodging. When it comes to lodging, Europe effortlessly outshines North American resorts in terms of quality, charm, and value. Staying in Europe feels like stepping into a storybook. You'll find yourself in a picturesque alpine village surrounded by winding cobblestone streets, all with direct access to the slopes. In North America, finding lodging that's both luxurious and close to the slopes often comes with an eye-watering price tag. First, Europe has an advantage in family-run hotels. If you've had the pleasure to experience this, you'll know it translates into impeccable, personalized service. The attention to detail at these small family-run hotels is impeccable. They are clean, charming, and memorable. This contrasts sharply with North America, where you deal with either an impersonal hotel brand or the owner of an apartment or condo listed on Airbnb or VRBO. Europe wins for offering charming, high-quality, privately run lodging. Second, many hotels in Europe offer outstanding half-board options. Half-board means you get an elaborate breakfast and a multi-course dinner with a different menu each night. If you just want to ski and relax and not worry about cooking or walking to restaurants each night, this is a great option, especially if you have kids. So Europe wins for the half-board. Next is wellness centers. Most hotels in the Alps have wellness centers that include pools, saunas, steam rooms, and relaxation areas. Some offer designated areas for families and others for adults only. Hot tip: wellness areas in German-speaking countries require guests to abandon their swimsuits. Now, of course, you can use as many towels as you like, but be advised that the American concept of freedom differs from the Alpine concept of freedom, especially when it comes to clothing in a sauna. Now, because I'm devoted to human liberty and nice things, Europe wins the wellness center category. Next, Europe offers ski and boot rooms that are standard in most lodging. There is nothing more uncivilized and irritating, in my view, than trying to put on cold, wet ski boots. This problem is resolved in Europe by dedicating rooms to store skis and boots overnight. There is a boot rack that ensures your boots are dried and warmed at the right time, perfectly toasted for your first run in the morning. Finally, luxury chalet options are superior in Europe. The Alps are home to some of the most outstanding luxury lodging in the world. It's really unparalleled. Many of these properties are historic. They have a tradition of hosting royalty or celebrities. Others are trendy, modern chalets for a truly private experience. These private chalets offer exclusive services like a 24-hour personal butler, a private chef, chauffeur, or a shopping assistant. If you don't like traffic, you can even take a helicopter to the resort. Elite luxury is available in North America. After all, we have the Yellowstone Club. But the lifestyle estate experience in the US requires membership, whereas in Europe, you can just pick up the phone and reserve. Because elite luxury is more accessible and arguably more stylish and attractive in the Alps, Europe gets the win for luxury. The fifth and final major category is cost. Simply stated, our dollars and euros go much further in alpine ski resorts than in North America. The quality of ski-related goods and services in Europe tends to outshine anything in North America. Of course, we already know about the lift ticket costs. Now, Epic and Icon season passes can work out well if you're an avid skier and if you can afford them. But skiing is far more democratized in Europe. As you can see from the chart, lift tickets are a fraction of the cost in Europe, which is great if you have kids. The trend is the same for ski instruction, which is outstanding in most European resorts. I've advised guests that it's the most affordable and beneficial form of childcare anywhere in the world. I mentioned this a bit earlier, but European ski lodging offers superior convenience, exceptional value, and a warm, welcoming atmosphere that North America simply can't match. Check out this chart, which covers the cost of lodging. So if you're tired of spending a small fortune for a mediocre experience, maybe it's time to head to the Alps. Finally, the trend continues for food and beverages. As you can see, in Europe, it's not just that the food is more delicious, it's also more affordable. Same goes for the wine, the beer, and the shots. And don't get me wrong, nothing about skiing is inexpensive. But if you love the sport and you want to save some of your hard-earned money, it's a better overall experience if you just come to Europe. So in sum, the cost category goes to Europe. So in review, we looked at some of the major things that I consider whenever I'm going to take a ski trip. First is the terrain. In Europe, you have more options, far more resorts, far bigger terrain, bigger ski verticals, even though the snow quality is better in the Rockies. Next, you have infrastructure. Ski infrastructure in Europe is unparalleled. It's the best in the world. Third, we'll look at food, drinks, and the après culture. Nothing can beat Europe when it comes to these three things. We looked at lodging, which I also argue Europe wins hands down, given that when you're in a European ski resort, you can basically walk or take a free bus everywhere you need to go. Finally, we looked at cost. Everyone's looking to save a little bit of money these days, even people with a lot of money. And I tell you what, your dollars and euros go a lot further in Europe. As always, if you want to learn more, please consider scheduling a free consultation at eatdrinkfun.com. Look for custom adventures. Please like and subscribe here on YouTube, check out our podcasts and other videos, and follow EDF on Instagram, Facebook, and X. I'll be here to help you eat well, drink better, and always have fun. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.